Oh, that's probably why it turned off. Just don't drop the camera. I don't think I've dropped a camera in a long time. I did drop a camera once. That's why I don't have Nikons anymore. They're very droppable. What's shakin' bacon? I am Joni Simon, and this is The Bite Shot, where I am here to help you improve your food photography and put you in command of your camera. So if this is your first time on this channel, the very first thing you are seeing, that is fabulous, and I'm so glad you're here. But you might want to rewind, head back to the previous episode, because this is a part of a series of 5 videos and they are meant to be watched in order. I mean, you do you, whatever makes you happy, but if you're gonna watch this video, you really need some of the foundations from the Aperture video. So go watch that first and then come on back here. If you already watched that, thank you so much for showing back up. Clearly I didn't scare you off, although you might get scared off in this video, because shutter speed, it's scary. No, shutter speed is fabulous and is a wonderful little tool in our little kit of tools for fabulous food photography. So real quick, you can put a pause on this. What I need you to do is jump onto your camera, whatever camera you're using, go ahead and find how you can manipulate the shutter speed. Because in the last video, right, we turned it to manual, we figured out where our aperture is. Now I'm gonna give you a moment. You can hit pause and find where your shutter speed is. So I've just got a little hot button right here. I got this little dial and I can just dial it up and down to manipulate my shutter speed. And shutter speed is all about time, and we don't want to waste time. We want the proper timing. Now, shutter speed, of course, there's a little shutter, right? Opens and closes, and you can hear that usually on a DSLR, that little sound effects, not my specialty. But if we were to use this camera, for example, and I got it, what's that little? Well, that's just a little slappy action, and what that does is that's opening and closing. So you gotta think about shutter speed just in terms of what is happening with that shutter. Duh, okay. Shutter opens and closes, right? And when it opens and closes, it's capturing the information in front of it. So whatever you're photographing, however long that shutter opens and closes for, then dictates a lot about the information of your final image, okay? So first and foremost, we talk about movement. So you think about food photography and you think about movement. What kind of movement could potentially be happening in a food photo? Well, maybe you're pouring some sauce, or you've, got your powdered sugar, right, that you're tapping and you get that really cool little snowy effect. So how sharp you want that to be will dictate the kind of shutter speed that you're looking for. Okay, so bear with me. So let's take, for example, the pour shot, right? We get the pouring, the drizzling of the maple syrup on the pancakes. So if you want that syrup to be in really crisp focus, you don't want it blurred at all, what you want to do is set a really fast shutter speed. And a fast shutter speed, if you look at all your little settings, you're going to look for something like 1/125. That's 125th of a second, okay? So that is a very short amount of time, as opposed to a whole second. So if you are pouring that in 125th of a second, you're capturing that information super quickly, you're getting that drizzle right as it's happening, you're not seeing the full pour. Whereas if you had set that shutter speed for a second, for example, or 2 seconds, and you're pouring it, it's gonna look blurred, which could look really cool, like you do something like get a waterfall or something and you want to see that kind of blurry motion to express movement. Well, that's really effective. So just depending on what you're looking for in terms of communicating movement in your shot, do you want to capture movement? Do you want it crisp and still and capture just a second of it? 150th of a second, then that's when you're going to look at your settings. You're going to look for something fast, which is 1/125, 1/500, 1/2000, as opposed to something that is a longer exposure, which can be in the terms of 1/30th of a second, 1 second, 2 seconds. So, but the other thing that shutter speed impacts is the overall exposure of the image, just like aperture did, right? So just a little reminder, when we talked about aperture, skinnier aperture means more light is coming in, right? Narrow depth of field, more light is coming in. deeper depth of field, less light is coming in. Well, same thing with shutter speed. So the slower our shutter speed, so the more time that's allowed to elapse while that shutter is open, the brighter the image is gonna be. Whereas the faster shutter speeds, that 1/500, 1/2000, that's not allowing a ton of light in, so it's going to make for a darker exposure. So when we're setting all of our camera settings, getting ready to set a shot, we're really looking for that balancing act. It's about balancing the amount of light because of the aperture in terms of the shutter speed, and then in the next video, which you gotta stay tuned for, because if you're getting something out of this, I promise you will get something out of the next one, and that is the ISO. So stay tuned for ISO, stay tuned for all the fun, and very soon you're gonna be the master and commander of your camera. You're gonna say, listen here, camera, I got you. I know how to run this. I can do this. So hopefully you found this video helpful. If you didn't, I apologize, then maybe not the channel for you. But if you did find this helpful, go ahead and give it that thumbs up. We love to sing around here. Yeah, maybe this will be the singing channel. No, I'll spare you. So anyway, stay tuned for that next video all about ISO and completing the series of foundations, so then we can get in real trouble. We can get super dangerous, and I cannot wait to share all of that with you. So thank you for stopping by my studio. You have a fabulous day. You stay out of trouble, and I'll see you soon. All right? Bye.